I know it sounds impossible to believe with all the sophisticated financial systems and measures that are available to companies today, but the truth is that U.S. companies are leaving hundreds of billions of dollars on the table every year, and existing systems can't even see it, let alone do anything about it. All of our current financial accounting and management theory practices were initially developed in the early 1900s to be effective in the then emerging industrial era. In those days, work meant going to the factories or the fields. Workers were uneducated and unsophisticated and worked out of survival as there was no social safety net. Flash forward 100 years, we're no longer living in the industrial era, but we're still thinking about and practicing management the same way people did 100 years ago. We're in essence working in the net speed flat world with Model T management theory and practices. The value generators in today's world are what we at the Human Potential Project call coordination workers, and you are more than likely part of this group. Coordination workers are educated, sophisticated, agile, mobile, creative, innovative, and they like to solve complex problems. As such, they don't respond well to industrial era management practices that are based on supervision, control, predictability, and standardization. The cumulative effect of these outdated practices is what we call coordination waste. Included in this category are unproductive moods with poor listening skills, bureaucratic work practices and structures, marginal leadership competence, teamwork is a slogan but not a practice, inadequate practices for cooperation and collaboration, outdated skills and tools for project management, ineffective meeting practices, and a pervasive lack of innovation. Unlike the wastes of the industrial era like scrap, excess inventory, and unproductive time in motion, coordination waste is much more insidious as you can't see it. And as all of our measurement and accounting systems are built on industrial era thinking, they are blind to it. We have a proven solution for this dilemma, but first let's get clear on what it's costing you in real life today dollars to stay stuck in the status quo. Let's just say we have a global manufacturer of shoes and sportswear, and the company has 48,000 total employees. Of that, we take out the people who work in the stores, administrative and support people, and lower-level employees, and that leaves us roughly 25,000 coordination workers. They're being paid an average of fully burdened salary of $90,000 a year. If we take the $90,000 and multiply that by $25,000, we get a total expenditure of $2.25 billion annually for these people. According to a wide range of research as reported by the American Management Association, Gardner and McKinsey, the typical American worker fulfills his or her commitments, which in this case means that work is completed on time, as scoped, and as budgeted, somewhere between 30 and 60% of the time. We'll be at the same time generous and conservative and give the company the highest mark by assuming 60% completion. Now, if we take 60% of $2.25 billion, we get $1.35 billion. This is how much they're spending and getting exactly what they paid for. At the same time, there's $900 million that they're spending and not getting what they paid for. We can't call it waste per se, as they are producing something, just not what they're paying for. We asked 10 CFOs, what is the opportunity cost of the $900 million? What would it be worth to the organization if they could free up some or all of that productive capacity? As there seems to be no universal standard for calculating opportunity cost, we get 10 different answers that range from 1 times to 10 times. Again, being conservative, let's take a half times, or in this case, $450 million, and add it to the $900 million. This gives you a total of $1.35 billion that the company is leaving on the table every year, and to date, no one has even noticed it, let alone done anything about it. Now, it's true that people can argue about the specific numbers, values, and assumptions all day, but that isn't the point. Everyone thinks that their company performs better than most and that they are personally and collectively exceptional. If only that was true. The more powerful approach is, there's clearly something here that we have not seen before. What's possible for us? The company in question has clearly built a successful business. What if their next challenge was revolutionizing the game of management? Well, here's what you need to know. It isn't, of course, possible to get 100% production from everyone. That's a fantasy, which means that it's just not possible to recoup all of the $1.35 billion. But what is possible is to make a dramatic improvement in the productivity of the organization. You won't get it with simplistic tips and techniques, the latest management fad, engagement programs, new IT, financial, or ERP systems. Instead, you need to go upstream and reshape the way you and the company think about and practice corporate leadership and management. We don't use manual calculators, typewriters, and drive around in Model Ts anymore. Those are relics of the early industrial era, yet we are quite content to use the management thinking and practices of that same era. This is a strategy for tragedy. The major innovations in the practice of management over the last 50 years have all come from Toyota and the Toyota production system. Quality, just-in-time, lean, and Six Sigma all came from the TPS. What we forget is that all of these practices were designed by automotive engineers to be effective in the manufacturing world where the interactions are between two machines or a man and a machine. While all of these practices have been highly effective in the manufacturing world, they have not been nearly as successful in other arenas. As I noted earlier, the value generators in today's world are not factory production workers. That's not to say that they're not valuable, but in today's world, they just don't carry the same weight as they did 50 years ago. Today, coordination workers dominate the working world, and they require a very different approach to management. At HB2, we call this new approach commitment-based management. This is a body of work that has been developed over the last decade and is now starting to make its way into the business mainstream. Commitment-based management has proven successful in every industry sector, and here is what it can do for the company in question. We would target an opening performance goal of $500 million. That will require roughly a 20% improvement in productivity, which is in our world a minimal goal. We will work with an initial population of 10,000 of the coordination workers. We'll deploy the work over a 2-year period, which is really an arbitrary number. We can and likely will do it faster. And as you can see, the return on their investment will be 2,841%. That's just during the course of the engagement. Their long-term return is a multiple of that. Experience suggests that there aren't many investments you can make that promise this level of a return, and we can say with certainty that no one else in the market is making this sort of promise. While this may seem hard to believe, what's so is that we have successfully done it with dozens of other companies. Please visit us at humanpotentialproject.com, and you can see for yourself the results we have produced for other companies. We offer free consultations to explore the possibilities for you and your company. Go to our contact page and leave us your contact info, and we will promptly reach out to you. While you're there, don't forget to sign up for our e-newsletter so you can stay in the ongoing conversation about working in the new world.